Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. It's the end of Mental Health Awareness Week, so Ben's been wanting to make this video for a while and we thought this is the perfect time for it. So this is going to be a what's it like to love someone who has anxiety and panic attacks. So if you don't know our story, I will put a little link up here, I think actually it'll be up here, to my story with anxiety. Go and watch that and then come back. But yeah, so let's just go ahead. This is what is it like to love someone who has anxiety. When we first got together, you knew that I had anxiety, you knew that I had panic attacks. How did that affect your decision making to enter a relationship with me? What made you crazy enough to do that?
You don't really think about it, you just, I fell in love with you.
Go.
And I wanted to be with you, and I didn't really care whether you had anxiety or not. It was just, that was the way it was, and that was our relationship.
You've always been super understanding and super helpful, haven't you?
I try to be, but like,
well,
it's
that's
not,
more than some people do, so.
It's not easy.
No. How does me having anxiety impact your day-to-day life?
On a very kind of practical level, like if you're having an anxiety attack, you'll call me. So that tends to be at really inappropriate and inconvenient times, say in a really important meeting, or you know, when I'm really busy or I'm doing something super exciting just for me, and that tends to be the moment, doesn't it? So on a practical level, it can be frustrating. I have to pick up the phone and talk to you and talk. And
who knows what you might find on the end of the phone.
Yeah, and there is an element of fear. Like that's one of the things I've noticed. Like when you ring me, it's like, hello, you okay?
Okay,
she's
we're
fine,
good.
we're good, we can just talk. Or, you know, oh crap, here she is having a panic attack. But, so that's a very practical thing, but I guess it makes me think about what we do and how we do it. The way we plan things has to be considered. So, again, a very practical example is we have to sit on the end of a row for your anxiety. So, like, I will always have to book theatre tickets or cinema tickets or whatever in advance. We can't just show up and buy cheap tickets because we don't know where we're going to sit. So stuff like that.
Okay, so thinking about when I get really ill, how does that impact your day-to-day life when I'm like quite bad? Obviously right now I'm pretty healthy, but when I'm bad.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time just after our honeymoon really that you got really bad.
That's probably the worst I've been.
It was more of a carer role.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stop being a husband. I was a husband, and that's part of your job, I guess. Your role as a husband is to care, but you know, it was definitely more of a carer role where the normal jobs that you would do around the house just weren't happening. So then I had to pick them up. So I was living your life for you and doing everything that you needed to do, even responding to texts on your phone or answering phone calls and doing things that you just didn't have the capacity to think about. So I'm having to do that and then having to find support myself. But then the catch-22 of that is I had to go out for an hour to get some respite and a conversation, and of course leaving you alone at that point was not necessarily doable or, you know, correct. So it's sometimes you feel stuck, and sometimes you feel, you know, you need the support. And actually people look at anxiety and go, that person with anxiety needs the support, but actually, you know, the carers, the partners, the family need support too.
Yeah, and what I find, it's horrible watching, like in this case, like the person I love the most get exhausted and suffer and know that that's because of me, and it's
a cycle of guilt though.
Yeah, exactly, it is. And then that makes me worse because I just feel guilty.
You feel useless and you feel like everything else, but actually it's just temporary. So you kind of have to remember in those situations that you will get better, and even if it's like a longer stretch of time, you know, someone described it to me as a roller coaster, especially marriage. It kind of goes up and down, and that happens in every marriage. But sometimes you're high for a long time, sometimes you're low for a long time. But you know, you've got to look at the wider picture, perspective, and actually go, for that month of 12 months you were bad, but actually the majority of the year is fine. So we have to push through those times and keep perspective and get support and hope and pray that you come out of it.
When we're together,
and
I have an anxiety attack, and it's one of the gooder ones, the bigger ones, with a bit of welly. How does that feel for you?
How does it feel? No, I'm not going to lie, like sometimes it is the most frustrating thing in the world. Say the motorway one, let's use that example again. You know, for me in my head, logically, it's more dangerous driving at 70 miles per hour, and if you crash, it's going to, you know, hurt more. Whereas you have a panic attack when we're stationary.
Or like crawling at 10 miles an hour, yeah.
And I'm like, this is the safest time, because even if something hits us at 10 miles an hour, that's not going to hurt us that bad.
Scratched or something.
So I'm like, why can't you think logically? So there are those frustrations, and if you are supporting someone with anxiety, you're allowed to have those frustrations because you see the world in a different, perhaps healthier way. But those sort of things, those thoughts that do happen, they sort of just go to the background, and my need to help and to love and to care and to support you through that time kind of kicks in. So those frustrations only really, they all sort of happen within a millisecond of thought, and then the care aspect comes into it.
And we work really hard at separating me and my anxiety.
You know, I don't think your anxiety defines you, because it doesn't. There's so much more about you. And when someone asks me to describe my wife or tell me about your wife, Ben, you know, that isn't the first thing that jumps to my mind. There are lots of things that I would say before I ever get around to say, oh, she has anxiety disorder.
Got any advice that you'd give people that are loving someone with anxiety?
I only have experience of our anxiety experience, so you know, I'm sure there's plenty more out there. But why I wanted to make this video is that I was searching the internet. There's a few articles going around Facebook like what to do if you're with someone who has anxiety, but actually I look on YouTube and I look on various different platforms, and there's a lot of stories about people sharing their anxiety story, but not many from like partners who go through it, who I realise now after being one of those people need support and need advice. I would say be kind to yourself. You know, it is alright to get frustrated, it's okay to be angry at the anxiety, and I found out I was very selfish when I got married. It was all about me, but now it's about us, and part of us right now is anxiety, and so actually that's as much worthy of my time than the thing I wanted to do that's now been affected by this panic attack. So consider your partner worth your time as equally as the thing that you might miss because of it, or might have to change or adapt because of it. Get support yourself. Sit down for a drink, for a pint, for a coffee, whatever works for you with someone, and just rant. The best advice I got given was, imagine someone's fallen into the ocean, it's waves everywhere, and you know, you need to save them. The best way to save them is to stay on the dry ground, on the solid ground, and not jump in with them, or else there's two people needing saving. Stay level-headed, stay aware that you are there to help.
Find what works for you as a couple, as a mother-daughter, as a father-daughter, as a father-son, as a mother-son, as a brother-sister, as an uncle, whatever you are. Find what works for you and be supportive.
I don't see my job as a husband / carer to be someone that just lets you stay where you are and in this protective bubble, because that is your natural desire, isn't it? When you're anxious, you want to stay in your safe place and not push yourself, because this is what you know. And actually my role in caring for you is not just to provide that safe bubble. It is to provide that, but it's also to go, here, expand your bubble.
Let's baby steps.
I'm not going to shove you out in a desert and leave you there by yourself, but I am going to take you to a pub on a Friday night, and okay, we stay for half an hour instead of 2 hours that our friends stay with, but that's still more than you would have done before. I don't want to give you what you want all the time, because it's not always the best for you. I think that's why you need the perspective to see sort of how that is better for you. And of course discuss it, talk about it, don't just like dictate. It's got to be something you work out together, isn't it? It's, you know, I have to push you and expand your bubble. I like that image.
Apologies for the yawning. I yawn when I get anxious.
Are you anxious now? Because
well, talking about it makes it a bit. I'm cool. I'm totally fine.
Comment below if you have, you know, anxiety, or you know someone with anxiety. Let's open up like some comments and discussion about it, because my advice isn't necessarily going to work for you.
You might have something that we think, oh amazing, why have we never thought of that?
Thanks for watching though. I just feel like it's an important thing
Yeah.
I want to share it. My side of the story is just as important, just as valid.
Thank you for watching. I hope it was informative. I hope it was enjoyable. I'm gonna go and relax and breathe and all that. We will see you on Wednesday. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as Ben said, share your stories below. Can't wait to read them. All right, thanks guys. Bye.
Bye team.
Why
Why does it make you feel anxious?
I was just talking about it. Not when I feel. I'm not gonna have a panic attack. I don't feel like my breathing's fine. I'm just like, I feel just, I've got scratchy skin. I feel tight. I feel like.
What about it? It makes you feel.
It's being vulnerable, isn't it? I guess. He said, valid.
It is valid.
It is valid.